Oh god, made you on too. Great. Hello everyone. Welcome to Monday. Monday. Here are the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz. I am joined as always by my darling co-host, Marcus. It's beautiful, everyone. Gorgeous, even, I might say.
Hi.
And also we have a special guest over today.
Oh God, put her
Broden.
away. Put her away.
Happy Monday, Mark.
I don't know where my notes are.
Happy weird week between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. Holiday week.
This fucking time of the year. For once, I'm not working. Back when I was like working during this time of the year, it was like even weirder because I would be confused as to why I had to work.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays are still technically happening. But this doesn't make sense.
Isn't it like Kwanzaa coming up or like now? I've been seeing a lot of posts about Kwanzaa.
I don't know. I have no clue when Kwanzaa happens. I don't know if it's like a Hanukkah deal where it's like whenever we want it to.
Okay, so Kwanzaa begins December 26th and ends January 1st. So we are in Kwanzaa time. Yes, Kayla corrected me. All week. Welcome, Kayla. Welcome, Capin. So, the week between
I like
Christmas
that they're just like, fine, we'll take that last week there in the month.
we'll make something of it.
Now it has to be a holiday. I respect.
Yeah.
I kind of want to light this little candle because I like this candle, but I don't have any clue where my matches are, ironically, for today's episode. Or where my lighter is. So, that's kind of annoying for me. I remember back in the day when I was smoking and I had like 3 lighters on at all times.
Yeah.
This is what happens. I didn't light a fucking candle.
Oh no, I lost the Raw logo again. So
it's
early
a little
on.
early in the episode for that.
I know. I had to transition to give us our image of the day.
Oh, what's our image of the day?
Randy Orton, looking terrifying. Thank you, Scott C. 1981, for the follow. Much appreciated.
Please?
Yeah? So, like, do you want to start the podcast? Or are we a candle show now?
I blew up the match and I fucking inhaled every ounce of the fucking sulfuric smoke that came off of it.
Oh, nice. Hallucinogenics.
Like as if my lungs weren't already not working today. Like also taking like because I take my migraine medicine, it makes breathing difficult because it makes everything fucking sore and inflamed.
Kayla said, Kayla thought you were referencing the end of the episode.
Well, that's why I said it was ironic that I couldn't find my matches. So,
oh, okay.
To be fair, you're correct on that. Shall we?
Mike's also
move along? Mike.
Before we get into business, Mike asked for your thoughts on Old Spice.
Old Spice, like the deodorant?
Because I told the story on my stream about my roommate who would spray Old Spice all over his bed.
I kind of like Old Spice. I mean, like, I don't know. When, like, a man uses, like, in my head for men, there's, like, 3 options. There's Axe, Old Spice, and, like, Dove. Dove doesn't smell like anything, and Axe smells like too much. I feel like Old Spice has, like, always been in my head, like, that nice happy medium between, like, yucky and just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the Old Spice commercials. I don't know.
It's the only good thing about Old Spice, in my opinion, the commercials.
I just wanted to have a body wash. Like, damn. It's hard. I redyed my hair, everyone, by the way. You can't really tell, but it's more purple than it once was, and it's going to be more purple on Wednesday. So
Woo!
I'm just doing the best with what I've got. I also ruined our bath mats with the purple hair dye.
So the episode.
Yeah, let's get into this. Let's jump on in, folks.
Might as well not use that news card at this point.
I'm going to, just for the sake of breaking everything up. So today we decided that we're not going to actually do the news, because there's really only one piece of news that actually fucking matters at this point. There's literally nothing else that I can report on that would actually be of any fucking significance. As everybody knows, John Huber, aka Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee, passed away on Saturday.
Boxing Day, yeah.
I want to say. Obviously, everyone is just fucking devastated about him. I don't think our Twitter for this podcast has gone back to normal yet. It's a little more lighthearted than it was for the last 2 days, but it a very shitty time indeed for everyone, including, I'm sure, his family, obviously.
For those who don't know who John Huber, aka Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper was, he was 41 years old and passed away of a non-COVID related lung problem. He was hospitalized in October and was in the hospital on and off. Apparently, during one of his workouts, he just could not continue anymore and had to stop. And at that point, he was hospitalized until now.
A lot of people are being kind of shit about it in that, like, I don't know. So there are some people who genuinely believe that this is a work, which, to be fair, at first, when, like you said, Brody Lee died, I was like, my brain first said, well, it's not the one I know, I'm sure. And then I looked it up and I was like, maybe this is all just a fun kayfabe thing? And then I saw Twitter and I was like, no, it's not. Okay. Because, like, for that, like, in wrestling, there's room, before you see everyone's reaction, there's room for it to be like, oh, you know, it's a part of the story. I don't know how anybody in their right fucking mind, like, if you have seen, like, the Twitter reaction, just from people that worked with him and knew him, if you saw that reaction and still think that that's, like, this is just, like, a little storyline twist, I need you to, like, stop fucking watching wrestling. Like, you gotta take a step back, dude. That's bad. But I know that there's, like, a lot of people who are, like, debating whether or not this was actually COVID or and AEW's lying or something. And it's like, I just don't understand why that fucking matters at this point.
Yeah.
Because whether it was or not, the man's dead. So, I feel bad for just about, like, anyone that fucking knew him. Because apparently it was everybody who had, like, even 5 minutes with him loved him.
Yeah, he was one of those people where you would never hear a single bad thing about.
Yeah, and that's not very common in wrestling, I don't think. Especially not nowadays. It's like, everyone always has something to say about someone. But it's just, like, this massive outpouring of, like, everybody who fucking loved him. And it's kind of nice because in a weird way, like, you're going through Twitter, as sad as it is, it's like we're seeing a lot of, like, fun, like, stories that people are telling. Big E and Kevin Owens have a wealth of them.
Unfortunately, we never got to see him live, which would have been great. Even during a live episode, we never got to see, because we started watching just after he was released.
No, I've seen him live.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, back when I used to watch in college, especially. Because I remember when I was really first introduced, because watching as a kid, that was something, but, like, watching it in college, it's a very long distance between times. I just remember seeing the Wyatt family for the first time and just, like, looking at the guy I was watching this and being like, that's fucking creepy. And he's like, yes, it is. And I was like, wow, okay. So luckily I did get to see him live, and I do appreciate that time that I had, but, like, it's just, 41 is not an old age by any means. Like sometimes like people will pass away and you and I are like, well, you know, they were 70 and that's not that old, but like 41's really not that old. And I don't know, man. It was just so shocking. I sobbed about it last night after I got drunk enough.
The sweetest part is that his last match was a hell of a match against Cody in a dog collar match. And AEW was trying to kind of write off his hospitalization, keep it on the down low, and just say that he's taking time off because he's been brutalized by Cody. So that's why there wasn't really any word on it. His last promo, it's really sad. He was with John Silver in the locker room, and John Silver finally earned Brody Lee's respect in the Dark Order, and the one shot I saw of it was just John Silver like sitting in a chair, hunched over, like basically in tears. And John Silver's relationship with Brody Lee is also incredible because Brody Lee bought $1,000 worth of gear for John Silver. And yeah, the man left a great mark on wrestling and probably had the best last of everything in AEW.
Yeah. It's super sad. I know that I talked to Kayla about this, that like, it also just like, it's an extra gut punch because like there really isn't that many wrestlers that are from like the upstate area, the Western New York area.
Mm-hmm.
And to like lose one of them, it's like, well, fuck, like that's like somebody that like, I mean, everything past like a certain point in New York, it's pretty much just farmland and like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you finally hear about somebody coming from there and like doing something, you're like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that really fucking sucks too. But I mean, there's so much that you can say. There's like so many stories that people can see online at this point now. And I think it's also just extra shocking because like back in the day, like wrestlers dying young, it was like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And now it's like happened so little that it's like, this is just a slap in the face. But for those who want to, and who can, I know that a lot of people are doing a lot of different fundraisers. I know that AEW, first of all, is doing a tribute episode this coming Wednesday. Cultaholic is donating all proceeds from their AEW reaction live stream to the American Lung Association, and AEW and Pro Wrestling Tees are donating all proceeds not only from Brody Lee shirts, but because of their agreement, CM Punk and Mick Foley are also giving the go-ahead to donate all of their proceeds from the merch that is purchased under their names to Brody's family. So if you want to do something nice, I picked up a cool fucking Brody Lee shirt. I want to show it, but I didn't pull it up in time. Like Brody Lee, he was somebody who apparently like didn't have a ton of merch, and he kind of felt bad about that. Or as Luke Harper didn't have a ton of merch. And I got this fucking shirt that like was so fucking cool. And it's kind of exciting to like see that like at least he had cool merch at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
If that counts for something. Yeah, so if you want to do anything, those are all things that you can do. We'll retweet those links on the Twitter for people to see. Yeah, there's not too much that we can really say here, but it's just, I just didn't feel right doing anything news related because like literally nothing fucking else matters. I don't give a shit. The one nice thing that we can say here is at the very least, this is one very rare time of AEW and WWE just kind of like bridging that go between as far as like the brand wars and all that shit. It's like at least like we can say that there was this much the middle.
And if you're
And
looking,
also
yeah,
show the shirt, but it's so hard.
might not see it
So
very
that is the
well.
design on the shirt. Let's see.
Kind of
You
like
know,
anime-esque. Not gonna see it too well, but
it's not super great, but that's the general gist. So.
and if you want to watch some of Brody Lee and find out who he was, at least in his WWE career, WWE released a documentary about him and his journey. Some, like Kevin Nash, would say that it's not enough, but I think it's just of his WWE career, and AEW might be... I think they just put out something about his AEW career.
Being the episode for this week is going to be in memoriam to Brody Lee, or is in memoriam. I don't know if it's already been posted.
It's already
or not,
been
but,
released, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I suggest going ahead and, I mean, I feel like Brody Lee, CM Punk, Mick Foley, that's a lot of options for shirts. So, yeah, it's just fucking devastating, dude. I did not think that I'd be this fucking upset about an athlete dying, and fucking you told me. I just sat here and I was like, but I didn't feel like we had any actual news today. So we'll do news on Wednesday. I don't really care. I just didn't want to do it today.
I do want to just say something that is kind of important. It's not related to this, but Vince McMahon has been suffering from severe severe health problems lately. No specifics on that, but apparently that's something that's going on. I mean,
one thing at a time.
The man's in like his 70s, so
which isn't that old either. It's not young.
Yeah. But I think he's like 76. But yeah, so there's only so much we can say about John Huber on the podcast without having it go an hour longer than we normally do it. But if you want to find out more about who he was, definitely check out the documentary and the BTE episode. And if you want to watch a great match with him, he had a great match with Dolph Ziggler at TLC, I think 2015, 2014.
Actually, also, if you go to our Twitter, I retweeted a link. I think I retweeted this link. Listen, we had as an apartment, we had a lovely evening last night where I may have had a lot to drink. I don't quite remember if I did this or not, but I think I retweeted something from. Okay, so a Twitter account called Tiger Driver made a small playlist of Brody Lee, Luke Harper matches on YouTube. And it's like from NWA Upstate, UPW, ROH, CZW, Chikara, WWE, AEW, X, Y, and Z, other promotions that fall in between there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty of shit on there too that you can also check out. I think it would be fun for those of you who want to reminisce, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we do need to move on to our matches and promos. But rest in peace, Mr. Brody Lee. You will be missed forever.
I'm not sure why, God has a whole fucking list of shitty fucking people he could take out, and he's like, I'm gonna take out the good guys first. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I have several other men in this world that he would have just as good of a time with.
Okay, matches and promos?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, unfortunately, we started off with Drew McIntyre talking in the ring.
Well,
the man goes on for 5 years
I know, he's
every
so
time.
Good at talking. He's a lovely little Gemini boy. He just chit-chats.
So he was talking about his journey on his way up, yada yada yada. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, to keep bringing sad news back in, but it was kind of nice to hear both Drew and Tom Phillips apparently did it's Monday night, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad that I have seen that since Saturday into Monday now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but yeah, that was a nice little start.
And for those who
Since
don't
I
know,
basically almost stopped for the first minute of the tribute that they had.
for those who don't know, Brody Lee's Twitter basically at one point was just him tweeting every single day. It's Sunday, you know what that means. That was it. And Kayla said she fell asleep during that segment with Drew.
Dude, so I totally get it, but the funniest thing is that, like, Geminis are always made fun of because Geminis talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. As you might know, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fucking see that outside of myself on TV, and I'm like, it's representation.
Mm-hmm.
Let us chat.
But he also talked about defending his title next week during Legends Day. And for those who don't know, Legends Day next week is going to be a bunch of legends like Hulk Hogan, Big Show. Who else is showing up? Beth Phoenix. Who else is going to be there? Can't remember. Who?
Hulk Hogan.
Who?
Hogan?
I already said Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
It's a bunch of legends. They're gonna be there. There was another woman, I can't remember her name, but Beth Phoenix will be there. Yes, there was.
Oh, Tori something. Tori. Forgot her last name already. The All-American Girl. That's all I know about her.
But yeah, it's a cash grab because their ratings have been low. But yeah, Drew's also defending his title next week, and we're about to have a match between Sheamus and Keith Lee to decide who is fighting him for the title. Sheamus walks out, and Drew's still mad at Sheamus about what he did to Keith last week, where he kicked him in the face after the match. But Sheamus said, I promised I wouldn't lay a finger on him, and I didn't. I just put a boot in his face. And then Keith Lee walks out, and he started talking about how Sheamus is gonna betray Drew at some point. Drew denied it. Sheamus gets all mad, and Brooke kicks Keith, of course, because that's Sheamus hates people besides Drew and Cesaro. And then we get into Sheamus versus Keith Lee.
I really like that Sheamus was like, well, I didn't lay a finger on him. And Drew was like, I feel like I'm Sheamus in every situation, and Drew is any of my friends. And now I kind of see it, and I'm like, and yet I still support him, so it's weird. It's weird how that works out, isn't it? Anyways, if there's any audio for people to tell us, because Mark has been lagging for me a little bit, so I don't know if it's just me, if it's Discord, or if it's you.
I mean, nobody else is going to see it because on my end it's going to look fine. You've been lagging a little bit too.
Right, that's what I'm worried about. Not just you.
Your audio comes in fine. It might be a little delayed, but we're getting everything you're saying.
I hate that, like, my hair is actually quite a dark purple, and no matter what, it will always look pink on this fucking camera. On any fucking camera. It just looks pink. It is the pain I live with. Anyways, Sheamus versus Keith. So I'm gonna be really honest, and maybe it's just circumstance. I was very distracted. I was not good at taking notes tonight, so I apologize. But also might make like a decently timed episode of our Raw post show. So Sheamus knees Keith in the jaw. We get an abdominal stretch to Keith. Sheamus then kicks Keith in the face. Keith takes his turn to get a pound of flesh, slugging Sheamus. He then picks Sheamus up and tosses him over the rope. down to ringside. He then slams Sheamus into the apron, then slams Sheamus into the post every single time, although Sheamus was kind of spiraling out a little bit. Both times, making him land right on his right shoulder. Which I always think is just like the stupidest shit where it's like, they do these moves where it's like very much based on chance where the person fucking lands, and every time they're like, and he lands on this injured body part, and it's like, oh, no shit, huh? Say it ain't so. There's a pump knee strike to Keith. Sheamus goes off the top rope onto Keith in like, what? I don't really know what it's supposed to be. It was like a flying double knees. That's like the most literal version that I could explain it. Like it kind of looked like it should have been a Meteora. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sheamus just doing Sheamus shit. We get back in the ring. Keith goes to bench press Sheamus and launches him, or rather bench press Sheamus and launch him, but doesn't have any luck. Sheamus wriggles free. He goes to almost do like the 10 beats of the bottom against the ropes to Sheamus, but Sheamus gets away by pulling Keith neck first into the fucking ropes. Sheamus then gets back up. We get the 6 beats of the bottom. So missed 4 of them.
To be fair,
Not gonna stop until he fucking does 10.
to be fair, this time it wasn't just him stopping at 6. Keith broke out of it.
No, Keith did not break out of it because Sheamus then pulled the back of Keith's neck against the top rope.
No, Keith like
For a
pushed
second
him
time.
off of him, but then Sheamus pulled
he
his
did
neck
not.
back.
Oh, maybe that was the case. Perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. Top rope again with like another flying double knees kind of deal. But Keith just shoves Sheamus out of the fucking way, which gotta love it. He then pushes Sheamus, gets a nice little spine buster onto Sheamus. Keith then splashes Sheamus in the corner. He goes off the ropes and then drops poor sweet Shayna. Sheamus then dead legs Keith. Which I always love when it results in that because it's like, I've done that to so many people just to fuck around with them. That to watch professional wrestlers do it, I'm like, yes, it is actually quite productive. We get a failed Brooke kick and a crossbody by Keith to Sheamus. Sheamus then shoves Keith into the top turnbuckle and somehow manages to lift the entirety of Keith Lee on his back into a white fucking noise. I get it. Keith is 345 pounds, and technically they probably can bench that much, but like, lifting a weight and lifting a man are 2 very different types of heft.
Big E was just the practice. Next,
Biggie was like the training bar.
next is Big Show, and then it's Mark Henry.
All right. Where does Samoa Joe come into all that?
Well, after Mark Henry, it's going to be the entire Thunderdome.
Okay.
Samoa Joe's next. Before Big
Okay.
Show.
All right, that's fair. You gotta like work your way up.
Yeah.
Then he slaps Keith in the face, which, mind you, because Drew's on commentary and Drew's making fun of both of them the entire fucking time, which I loved. Drew took none of this seriously. And Sheamus starts slapping Keith, and you just hear Tom Phillips going, slapping him. It's like, yeah, Tom, he is. You're right. The slaps don't last very long because Keith then does his sweet little grizzly magnum to Sheamus. Would still be my porn star name if I were a man, and in porn. And then we get a spear bump to Sheamus to win. Keith secures his chance to fight Drew McIntyre for his title at Raw Night of Champions. I am almost positive it will not actually result in Drew dropping the title.
You mean Night of Legends?
Sure, fucking, I don't care.
Because Night of Champions is like a different thing. That's like Clash of Champions.
Night of Shilling. How's that?
Yeah, basically.
And then we don't have any promos between this and the next match, do we? We have nothing.
No,
I think our TV dropped dead, actually.
We do. We have a Lucha House Party promo
okay.
that was.
You're right.
That was just before this match. It was like one of those picture-in-picture ones. They were saying that The Miz is crazy, after like really demanding to get the Money in the Bank contract back. Which I guess is why we're getting this match between Gran Metalik and The Miz. Which actually was not a bad match. Mostly because we got to see Gran Metalik at like peak form.
Gran Metalik looked fucking amazing tonight. I don't know what the fuck. Like maybe he just needs this couple of like weeks off or something.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say this. Let me just say this loud and fucking clear. I don't know if we will ever get closure on this situation. I am 100% convinced that Lince Dorado is fucking attractive as shit under that fucking mask, and I might never know.
Remember when it was a whole
I'm
thing?
Convinced.
Remember when it was a whole thing? He was gonna take his mask off.
I know. He looked like he was going to, and he tweeted or Instagrammed about it 24/7, and then he never did. I was supposed to get a Lucha House Party breakup, which is not something I want by any means, but I was supposed to get a breakup with the two. Well, we did technically get a breakup, but I was supposed to get a Lucha House Party split.
Mm-hmm.
And by a Lucha House Party split, I assumed it was a Lince split.
Yeah.
But fucking Gran Metalik had to stick with the nice guy and not fucking Callisto. No, I'm never gonna know if Lince Dorado's hot under that fucking mask, so that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't bother me.
It was the draft. The draft fucked them over. If they had split,
Draft fucked me over.
I mean, yeah. But if they had split, they would be in a much better position story-wise. Like, they'd probably have contention for a title, and say might be the IC champion, or might have been fighting Big E in main events. Like, it would have put more focus on their story. Now they're just like shoved to the side.
They need more luchador style wrestlers, I think, to make things different and unique and like interesting. Because I think one of the biggest problems in the main roster right now that NXT really does not suffer from at all is it's all the same style.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally all entertainment wrestling. So to have like at least like some luchador style that like Raw used to have when we had Humberto and Angel and Andrade and
Rey Mysterio,
Rey, and even Dominic for that fact.
Mm-hmm.
For that matter. Sorry.
Yep.
But it's like, you know, on NXT it's like we got luchadors, we have fucking entertainment style, we've got the flippy shit, we've got fucking we've got strong style, and we've got submission based. We have like entertainment and some flippy shit, and that's about it. It's very frustrating.
One thing I also noticed is after Rey Mysterio went to SmackDown, Raw has like no luchadors in like their main scene, and them probably bringing up Lucha House Party in this Miz storyline is probably their desperate attempt to put some kind of luchador out front.
I think also it's like, well, where the fuck is Humberto?
Main event. Literally.
Andrade. And actually, Angel. Where's Angel? He fought Drew Gulak, and that was it.
There was a promo with Angel.
Yeah, okay, that's great. That's not fighting, is it?
I have a theory with Angel that I'll get to. Angel
like
and Andrade once we get to his promo.
I do like this theory.
Let's get to the match.
Let's get to the match. It's, by the way, just so everyone knows, it's really weird. Our TV just turns off sometimes, so we sort of miss certain things. They're totally not important, so don't worry. Right? I wouldn't say that they're important.
I didn't think we missed anything at all. I thought that was a commercial break we missed.
Oh yeah, you're right. Whichever. I don't know if maybe I just black out. Anywho. I used to like have like a little tie, and now it's just broken. We have Miz versus Gran Metalik, and I was like a little nervous here because I was like, first of all, I don't know why the fuck Miz is fighting Gran Metalik. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. But Gran Metalik first just like starts rolling Miz up all around. We get a Panama Sunrise to Miz. Miz starts kicking and punching Gran Metalik, but we get a nasty fucking flying head scissors to the Miz. He gets drop kicked out of the ring. Gran Metalik with an over the moonsault to Miz at ringside. Miz sends a boot to the face of Gran Metalik and then gets like a crossface submission hold on Gran Metalik. But then as Miz tries to set him up for like a spine buster, it looks like, Gran Metalik wriggles free. We get a nasty fucking bulldog, a drop kick from the second rope, and a Panama Sunrise to the Miz. Gran Metalik wins, and the Miz looks like he's about to fucking cry. And I said, oh my god, if they're about to break up John Morrison and the Miz, I mean, good, probably. That'd probably be for the best for both of them, but also at the same time.
I was kind of hoping that this would be kind of a different heel turn for the Miz, where he would turn from chicken shit to fucking insane.
Crazy heel?
Yeah. Which, they could still bring him down that path, but I feel like where a promo later on brought us, we're kind of back to square one. They definitely could have taken this opportunity to really make him crazy and batshit insane. But I think they missed that opportunity. You got to the end of the match, right?
Yes, indeed I did.
Yep. But after that, we have a match between Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler. And will I say, Dana, where have you been hiding this shit? I'm mad.
No. No. We're not saying that. What we're saying is Dana had one good move tonight. What did she, like, why is she not doing more of it? You're not saying, Dana, where are you hiding this shit? Because we know where she's hiding all the other shit that she did tonight. Right in front of us.
I will say now, so I'm not surprising you later, I picked Dana over Shayna in this match. Mostly because Shayna did annoy me a little bit when she was intentionally supposed to take a hit. She acted all afraid and just like looked like a drunken boxer at one point.
Yeah, I've seen that. Alright. This is my least favorite type of match because their names fucking rhyme, and then my brain has to type words out without looking at my fucking screen, and then I'm like, Dana, Shayna, same person. Do-do-do-do. And then I fuck up all my notes. So, Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler. It's like same fucking sounding name and a B for the last name. Like, Jesus H. Anyways, we get a kick to Dana. Shayna gets shoved into the buckles. Dana goes to like cartwheel onto fucking Shayna because that's all fucking Dana does. But Shayna gets her knees up. Shayna goes for the good old elbow stomp, but has no luck. So then Shayna just kind of wrenches Dana's arm backwards on the fucking apron, and I had to watch it, and I said, that's like the most painful fucking thing in the world. Hate when she does it. Like, I love when she does it, but at the same time, like, as she's doing it, I'm like, I'd rather just watch somebody play Resident Evil over and over and over again.
Can I just briefly interrupt this match to talk about something that I just remembered? Something that will kind of piss you off.
Already going to, so I'll let you. Oh, sure. Interrupt me and piss me off at the same time. That's an oxymoron.
Remember in the Seth Ray storyline when Elias was kind of first introduced? Seth said that one of his kids is not his after a paternity test.
Yeah.
We never got a conclusion to that. We never found out who that kid was.
Because the thing is that Ray said straight up, he was like, we've already done this, Seth, and so did everybody else on Twitter. And then Seth was like, or maybe one of your kids isn't telling you the truth. And that's what that's exactly how that like segment morphed. I was like, wait, how did we go from a paternity test to a kid lying to their parent? What?
And then I think it was like Dominic was like, we've proven I'm his son already. And then I think it was alluded to that Elias was the one who's not really Ray's kid.
And the whole time we had to sit there and be like, can we just leave Angie alone for like 5 fucking minutes? The poor woman.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled match.
Yeah. Anyways, we get a jawbreaker and a back elbow to Shayna. Dana launches Shayna and goes for the basement dropkick, but Dana is caught and then put into the Kirifuda clutch ringside. Mandy breaks it up and causes Shayna to go for a Nice little elbow stomp on the stairs on Mandy. But Dana grabs her and drops her into the apron. We get a Kirifuda clutch countered with a roll-up. And then Miss Dana Brooke said, I actually know how to wrestle, in case y'all forgot. And I said, well, we forgot because you haven't been wrestling like a wrestler lately. And does a fucking spinning neck breaker to Shayna.
I'm mad. She could be a lucha style wrestler, but she's trying to Carmella it up.
I feel like I am being bamboozled and swindled and schemed.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw that, and I was like, no, because that move was cool. I'm used to you fucking cartwheeling into a fucking back elbow.
Right.
So what the fuck was that? It's like when like the kid in school who doesn't try at all of a sudden like is called on to answer a question, he knows the fucking answer, and you're like, what have you been doing?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. He goes off the top rope and goes for a frog splash, but Shayna moves. We get a knee strike and then a Kirifuda clutch to Dana. Dana immediately taps out. So Shayna wins and then says, you know what, for good measure, let's get Mandy in on this shit, and does a Kirifuda clutch to her as well. Yeah. Kind of sad, but kind of funny.
Yeah.
In my humblest of opinions.
Then we have Alexa Bliss's playground. No longer a moment of bliss. We now have her playground, where
I was just gonna say that the I think that Alexa Bliss is like looking really cute lately, and it definitely does a lot for my just incredibly gay ass. It's so funny that I'm like in love with Alexa Bliss, but also I want Rhea Ripley to fucking wrench my fucking jaw out.
I swear
Anyways,
you have no type at all.
No type.
Yeah.
When it comes to women, I actually know when it comes to men too. Anyways, with women, I'm just like, if you can like kick me in the face, we're probably gonna be good. As much as I think Alexa Bliss is like looking super cute and like making my little heart flutter, at the same time, when we go from like Alexa Bliss like looking like a little to Alexa's playground, that's when I start having to draw some lines, because I'm like, oh, this feels way illegal, like hella fucking illegal all of a sudden, like something feels wrong. Like the same guy who wrote the Buddy Murphy kissing Elias storyline has written this one, and I need him arrested, like right
now. But Randy comes into Alexa's playground, and or he's invited in. He's invited in. His music plays. He doesn't come out. Plays again. Doesn't come out. And then we cut to the Firefly Funhouse, and Randy storms in the door. You might as well have kicked the door in. And he's talking about the Fiend and him being alive or not, whatever, in hell. And then just fucking kicks the shit out of Huskus. Like, knocks him into the next century, yeets his ass out of the Firefly Funhouse, stomps his face in, and then moves over to Mercy, goes on, continues his monologue while holding Mercy the Buzzard in his hands, and then yeets his ass into Sister Abigail through the window. And then picks up Ramblin' Rabbit, continues his monologue about the Fiend, and rips Ramblin' Rabbit's head off. And then...
has he not seen enough?
This really pisses off Alexa. She gets really mad and challenges Randy later on. She says, I'm going to challenge you tonight in the ring. I was hoping, both of us were hoping for a mixed match. It would have been really cool, given that all of the matches with Randy and The Fiend have been edited, and they could have done something cool with Randy and Alexa editing something. Maybe we'll get that later on. I doubt it.
Just wanted to look getting RKO'd.
Yeah, she will at some point.
I had one need.
But then we move into an interview with Miss Charlotte Flair, the Queen. And she's talking about her match later, saying that she's the only one she can rely on. And then Asuka comes in and starts hyping her up. I love this tag team so much. It makes so much sense seeing promo pictures because one's a queen, one's an empress, and they're literally named the Queens of Tomorrow. And this tag team will 100% elevate Asuka to being on top again. And then, unfortunately, we have AJ Styles versus Elias, but I will say AJ Styles looked fucking amazing this match. Right off the bat, I'll say that.
Would you say that he looked
phenomenal?
Would you say that he looked
great?
Fantastic.
Bad.
Can I also just say, Randy, for the first, he had to get into his he had to get into kind of a flow, but he did not look like he was there tonight for that first half of the promo. He tripped over 4 lines, and I think that that fucked him up.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he started fucking throwing Mercy into Sister Abigail where all of a sudden I was like, "There's Randy. There's my boy."
He needed to kick some shit, yeet some shit.
I was glad that Bray wasn't there tonight because I don't think that he should have been. For multiple reasons. Storyline, first of all. Second of all, mental health. I kind of wish that Randy wasn't there tonight because I know that was probably also kind of upsetting because they're still referencing when he.
Oh. You froze.
I've lost you.
Okay.
You froze too.
I think. Okay, you're back.
But I just because they're still referencing that storyline, and that kind of makes me feel like, oh, maybe we could just take one day away from this. Just one.
Yeah.
As of lately.
I mean, I get why they did it because this is their main event scene right now. And I'm sure Randy had no problems continuing this.
Yeah, he did not look like he was there for a few minutes, and I was like, "It's okay, baby boy, it's okay." But anyways, AJ versus Elias. Every day we stray further from God's light. So AJ gets a head scissors on Elias. He's quickly fought off. He gets a headlock on Elias that's counted with a head scissors on AJ. We get a huge back body drop to AJ. AJ takes a back body drop like no other fucking bitch in the fucking industry. I love it. Second only probably to Ricochet, I think. Elias starts targeting AJ's elbow. Trying not to hiccup. Sorry. There's a Panama Sunrise on Elias, and then a drop toe sends Elias into the ropes. We get a drop kick to Eli. Elias, oh God, Christ.
Yeah.
She's standing. She's on her way down.
Oh, I heard that. I mean, here.
I mean, I made a sound effect, but I think you probably heard that as it is.
Yeah.
But Elias avoids the phenomenal forearms. He gets AJ on his shoulders and drops him face first onto the apron. And then he sends AJ into the post, and there's a pump knee strike to AJ, and a meteor to AJ off the top rope, and a right hook to AJ, and then almost has to defend AJ, who's laying ringside at this point. Almost has to kind of defend him against some anti-Semitic racists that managed to get into the fucking ringside area. I don't know what's going on with the security in the Thunderdome.
I thought Elias came in alone.
I thought, well, no, this guy, it seemed that he jumped down from the fucking stands or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
Vince
know what's
McMahon?
Sure. That's anti-Semitic and racist enough for me. I'll take it. But Omos does what Omos does best, which is being king bitch. I love that man.
He stepped it up today.
Dude, he has become one of my favorite partners, I guess. As far as everyone goes. Just because Omos literally does nothing unless somebody's trying to pull some shit on AJ that isn't fair.
Yeah.
A little Like, has almost defended AJ in a way that helped him win a match? Maybe. I really like him. He kind of stays in his fucking lane, which I prefer when it comes to like somebody who stays ringside.
Mm-hmm.
Like Paul Heyman.
He doesn't cheat, but he's still there and part of the match.
Yeah. Also, I like to think of him as AJ's father.
Yeah.
He's like the father figure to AJ.
Have you seen Dodgeball?
Yeah, we were together.
Did we? Oh, yeah. AJ is Ben Stiller's character, and then Almost is Ben Stiller's big man. I don't know what his character's name is, but his right hand man.
Either, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because I'm the guy in the wheelchair in Dodgeball. That's just me. Just very drunk and very angry.
Oh, it's like what was his name? Patches O'Houlihan. That's his name. Patches O'Houlihan.
I'm Patches O'Houlihan, dude. I just love that Patches fucking dies with a light falling on him. Like, if ever there were a person for that. Anywho. So after Omos defends AJ from this random fucking intruder that probably should not be anywhere near a wrestling ring by any means, and I don't know why he fucking is. It's just really fucking incredible. Oh, Vince. Anyways, aside from the rage that I feel on a fucking weekly basis nowadays, there's a clothesline to Elias and a flying forearm, a clothesline in the corner as well, and then AJ sent face first into the top buckle after Elias dodges him. Elias gets Styles on his shoulders and then does a move that I cannot really call anything besides maybe a neck breaker. Didn't even really know who did the move. Honestly, watching it go down, I was like, good job, AJ? Oh, Elias. I don't know. But then AJ manages a fucking, pun intended, phenomenal Pele kick. Elias is like up on like the second rope or something. I don't understand how that man does half the shit he does, but the fucking Pele kicks that AJ Styles is capable of, you don't see it with like quite literally anyone else besides maybe Riddle. And even then I'd be hesitant to say anything nice about him. So I love it. Then we get a TKO to AJ. AJ kicks Elias in the knee. We get a fucking enziguri that just looks like it hits so goddamn hard. AJ smacks Elias with a forearm on the apron, and then we get a phenomenal forearms to Elias to win. Thank God. Omos is standing there cheering his son on, and fucking Tom Phillips is like, you know, you can hear Omos right now just cheering AJ on. I was like, I literally can't because his voice is so fucking deep, it does not register in my goddamn ears. But I love him. Also, to hear Mike Rome say the name of that man that we will not say the name of breaks my goddamn spirit.
Mm-hmm.
In the worst way.
But say what you will about AJ Styles, the man is one of the most talented wrestlers in all of professional wrestling.
He pains me kind of because he is really fucking talented, and it like breaks my fucking heart that like he's really kind of a mid-card dude for the most part right now.
He is, but he's a mid-card dude who has the potential to be main event card and championship card at any point. I mean, he's a 2-time WWE champion. I mean, Drew McIntyre's not even main card right now.
True. That's true. I do want to go back to a point where like AJ is running the show for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some questionable shit about AJ. Maybe he's a flat earther. Maybe he's worse. We don't know. He's very quiet about how horrible he could possibly be, which I respect.
He's also a huge advocate for like wrestler freedoms, and you know.
It's so sad that we have to say it like that, but it's kind of true.
Like, he was one of the main leaders in letting wrestlers have, you know, Twitch streams and third-party platforms. He's done a lot for the industry, whether it's in WWE or not. And yeah, he's just incredibly talented all around.
He is. I feel like we don't get to see enough of him because I again, going back to when I was watching it in college, I was like, oh, AJ Styles is pretty fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we started watching again, I kind of had to like recalibrate everything in my head as to what I like knew. I was like, AJ's all right. Like, I guess in my head, I was like, well, he's gotten older, maybe. Like, he's not as good as he once was. But now recently, I'm just like, no, AJ Styles is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Over. He knocked something over. That's a fucking mess.
You got to the end of the match, right? I kind of
did get to the end of the match.
Because I just kind of got lost towards the end.
You always seem to. You're like, did we finish the match? And I'm like, years ago, baby.
Well, because this time you were talking about Mike Rome mentioning what's his name.
I don't know. Racist McRacist pants.
Yeah. But after that match, we have Ricochet versus Mustafa Ali in what should have been the climax of this Retribution Ricochet storyline, but it seems like there's going to be more after this.
Kind of happy how where it ended, actually. Somebody, I don't remember who tweeted this, but somebody said, imagine at the beginning of 2020 knowing that we would get a Raw faction with Mustafa Ali, Ricochet.
Oh, you froze. Froze. Lost ya.
Back!
There we go. Got you back.
Back! Did you hear what I said though?
Heard like a faction with Ricochet, Mustafa, and that was it.
Oh, and Dominic Dijakovic. And then find out that it's like Retribution. Just like, we could have had so much.
Mm-hmm.
We got so little. So little for our money. All right. So Ricochet just kind of unloads on Mustafa. And we get a power slam to Mustafa and a Hurricane Rana, as well as a drop kick. We then get a back body drop to Mustafa. Mustafa slams Ricochet face first into the buckle. Pulls off a neck breaker onto Ricochet. Then a back elbow to Mustafa. We get out onto the apron. Mustafa knocks Ricochet down. But Ricochet and Mustafa make it up to the second rope. And then Slapjack jumps up on the apron. And then Reckoning jumps up on the apron. And then the referee's like, can you guys stop? And then Dio and Dom.
Stop. Just so sad and defeated.
I was exhausted by it. And it's like, Dio and Dominic grab Ricochet, slam him backwards into the barricade. Mustafa jumps off the top rope down onto him, and then we go to commercial break. When we come back, Mustafa whips Ricochet into the corner. We get a backstabber to Ricochet off the second rope, and an elbow drop onto Ricochet. Ricochet pulls, I love words. Ricochet puts space between himself and Mustafa. Mustafa somersaults down Ricochet's back. And then Ricochet backflips over Mustafa and right into a German suplex, which I feel like he always does really well. I really like his German suplexes. It's so high up on his like little tippy toes. We then get a discus clothesline to the face of Mustafa, and Ricochet with a kickback to Mustafa and a near fall, but Dio Madden removes Mustafa from the ring. We then get Ricochet just losing his shit with, first of all, a DDT to T-bar, which, a DDT bar.
Really?
I had to. I felt like that was
That
good.
was bad.
I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed that joke. I hope everyone else did too. But To be totally fair, the DDT bar, if you will, I don't think it nearly killed T-Bar. Literally all the way up until like the actual end of the fucking match, where T-Bar's just sitting on the steps, like, oh no, we've hurt him. And then there's a kick upside the head to good old slapstick. Ricochet pushes Mustafa into the post and DDT's Dio into the fucking floor. Ricochet goes up to the top rope, but is immediately blocked by the knees of Mustafa on his way down. And then Mustafa gets the Koji clutch on Ricochet to slowly kill him until I believe it is John Cone saying, "That's that, boys. Call it a night." Mustafa gets the mic and he says, "Hey, join my team." And Ricochet says, which for the second time, I believe, because I think he did this with the Hurt Business too. He's like, "I will not, psych, bitch." And then he fucking leaves. And I was like, you're a goddamn mess of a human being, but okay. Love him to death.
Oh, man. Oh, man. And then we have an interview with Nia and Shayna.
Like sports?
What?
What?
Nia announced her entry into Royal Rumble. So we have our first entry into the men's Royal Rumble. That's Daniel Bryan. And our first entry into the women's Royal Rumble. And that's Nia Jax. I don't know why you have a match lit or a lighter lit right now, but okay.
And turning this down.
Shayna kind of alludes at the end to her entry, but she didn't officially announce anything. Then we have an interview with Drew McIntyre.
Said that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Then we had an interview with Drew McIntyre, unfortunately, where he goes on a tirade and talks about just Keith Lee stepping up and coming for the title, but Drew's still gonna win. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax.
I didn't like this match so much.
I thought it was nice.
So Nia starts targeting Flair's elbow. There's a headlock on Jax. Jax sends Flair over her own shoulders. Flair cartwheels over the ropes. And I said, and you're telling me that she's not 6 feet. Okay. It's charming because Nia Jax is built at 6 feet, and Flair's at the very least the same height as her. Flair cartwheels over the ropes. She shoulders Jax in the midsection and then drop kicks her out of the ring. We get a second drop kick and then a basement drop kick, sending Nia into the announce desk. Charlotte dodges Jax, who runs into the post and goes for the figure four, but Nia tosses her into the buckle as she tries to go down. Nia avoids having her knee stomped on, but Charlotte wrenches Nia down via her hair. Charlotte goes up top and is yanked down by Nia. She goes for the Panama Sunrise, but has no luck. Nia with the sit-out powerbomb on Charlotte. Then we get Shayna distracting Charlotte and being kind of a fucking nuisance. And Asuka defends her wife because we all know what's happening here. It's just two teams of lesbians, and I'm fine with that because I love it. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're wrong.
Okay.
To be fair, Shayna is gay, so therefore, I'm partially right. I'm also in love with her, and I kind of want her to stomp on my elbow.
Weird.
Ah, man. She scares me so much. I think that's my type. Anyways, Charlotte rolls Nia up again, tries for the figure four once more, but the figure four is broken up by Shayna, who has bloodlust and decides to attack Charlotte with the Kirifuda clutch. It's a DQ. Charlotte technically wins, and Asuka chases both Nia and Shayna from the ring.
Oh boy, yep. And then we have a little promo with the Hurt Business, where they scare some kid on his phone. That's it.
Been on their phone.
Usual business. To be fair, they were just standing in the middle of the floor, just staring at their phone. Have some awareness, my dude.
Okay, that's fair.
Then we have an interview with Angel Garza. And he describes his 2020. But then R-Truth runs in, followed by other wrestlers, and they crush Angel's Rose. Now, one thing Angel did say is that he's going to pay a visit to a women's superstar. I have a theory, a wrestling theory, that because we haven't seen Andrade yet, I think what Angel's alluding to is that he is going to flirt with Charlotte. And then Andrade is going to come in and say, "Whoa, Buster. No way, Jose." And then Johnny Gargano is going to come and be like, "You can't say that." But Andrade is going to come in because they did say that Charlotte and Andrade would be a pair during their return. So that would be a good way to bring Angel back into relevancy, reintroduce Andrade into the main roster, and give Charlotte kind of a side storyline. Hope they do it. Don't know if they will, but based on everything Angel was saying, it makes sense. Then we have a promo with the New Day and the Hardy Bros, kind of psyching up before the match. Love that Xavier and Kofi are wearing Big E shirts. Xavier is also wearing a Brody armband. Man. Then we have the Hurt Business walking out before their match. And Bobby Lashley announces that he will also be in the Royal Rumble. So that makes 2 men's participants right now. Daniel Bryan and Bobby Lashley. 2 guys who have potential to win the Royal Rumble. And then we have the New Day and Hardy Bros versus the Hurt Business. This is on you.
Yeah, this was a match. Not a good one, but right. So Hurt LLC versus New Day Hardy Bros. We have Riddle versus Cedric to start. There's a drop kick to Riddle and a gut wrench suplex. Bobby gets in. It's his forearms out. Bull does his Riddle down. Riddle's then lifted and just fucking dumped. MVP gets in. MVP who does jujitsu and probably would have a really cool fucking match with Matt Riddle, but I guess we're never gonna fucking get that joy. Just comes in to stop Matt Riddle, as is almost always his fucking role in a tag team event. Gets Shelton in. Shelton suplexes Riddle and then slams him into the buckles. There's a kick to the midsection. Jeff Hardy gets in. About 5 fucking seconds. There's a bro tree in motion into a drop kick to Shelton. Xavier and Kofi get in to Xavier gets in, stomps Shelton. Kofi gets in to stomp Shelton. Riddle gets in to stomp Shelton. Jeff gets in to stomp Shelton. That's about as much time as any of them get out combined versus Riddle. Kofi then drop kicks Cedric, and it's all 4 against Lashley until he's out of the ring. Lashley gets back in. He splashes Riddle in the corner, and there's a flatliner. Shelton gets in. It's a calf crusher on Riddle. Cedric gets in. He's just being fucking weird because that's what Cedric does best at this point.
Always on coke.
He's just off his ass. Shelton gets back in. I don't even know what Shelton does at this point because Lashley gets in shortly thereafter. Does some fucking cross faces on Riddle. Cedric gets back in. And then there's a kick to the face of Cedric. Kofi gets in. A Meteora, a drop kick. He starts taking men off the apron as well. I think it was just MVP. Then we get the bone drop. And Shelton tags him from behind as he goes up to the top rope. Kofi tags in Xavier. Xavier takes Cedric's legs out from behind. There's an elbow to the shoulder, the middle of the shoulder blades, to Cedric. Then Xavier does what he does best, where he trips Cedric into the ropes and goes over Cedric's back, sending feet into MVP, who's ringside. Then Jeff goes off the top rope, or the top buckle, to MVP, and then Xavier clotheslines Cedric, and then there's a Swanton bomb with illegal Jeff Hart. What?
That clothesline was actually a tribute to Brody Lee. because he did the little taunt, and then what Tom Phillips said was the Harper clothesline.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Fair enough. So Xavier does the Harper clothesline to Cedric, and then there's a Swanton bomb with a newly legal Jeff Hardy. Lashley jumps in to stop everything that's fucking happening. MVP then mows Xavier down. He kicks Kofi in the face, and then there's a kick upside the head to MVP from Riddle. There's a pump knee strike to Riddle from Shelton, then a twist of fate to Shelton, and then a failed spear to some, but probably Jeff from Lashley. I have no fucking clue. The Hurt Lock happens. Hardy taps out. The end of this fucking match was just far too much.
It was a very chaotic match, but I think it was still a really good one. Really great showing from Kofi and Xavier. Riddle was pretty decent. And it's kind of making me like Riddle and Jeff Hardy, like the Hardy Bros tag team more. I do think Bobby Lashley needs to get rid of the goddamn Hurt Lock. He's got to get a new finisher. Just use the spear. The spear is so much better. Oh my god. Then after that, we have a promo with The Miz and Morrison. They're sad. Sitting on some stairs in the Thunderdome. And then Adam Pearce comes along and says, "Hey guys, I know you're sad. As much as I'd like to see you sad, I have a little surprise for you." He brings in the Money in the Bank briefcase, thing that The Miz has been trying to get back. He says, "You were right, Miz. Only the Money in the Bank contract holder can cash it in. And John Morrison was the one who cashed it in at TLC." Which, I mean, the logic makes sense, but we all know that they're just doing this because they fucked up. And it was very anticlimactic. And there was a lot of complaints from the fans about it. But giving The Miz the briefcase back so soon removes that batshit insane heel potential I was talking about earlier. Now, The Miz is probably just back to chicken shit. So, that's the end of that promo. Do you want to say something about it? Looks like
Yeah, I just kind of want the Money in the Bank briefcase to burn in fucking hell because I'm so tired of it. I think it's the stupidest shit that they've had to do lately. Normally it's used for fucking whatever purpose. It's good purpose. This briefcase is useless. It's fucking useless. And at this point, it's like, just with everything that's happening, I do not see Miz being the one to take the title off of Drew. I just don't. Out with everything that we've already seen in the past month, I don't see it happening. Not with the fact that we're going into WrestleMania, and I don't see the Miz dethroning Drew after at WrestleMania for this. I see whoever the fuck wins the fucking Royal Rumble, which will not be the Miz if Bobby Lashley's there. I just don't see it happening. And it's like, okay, so is he going to go after Bobby's title then?
It's possible. That's what I was thinking. Or he goes after Roman.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's fair. But okay, so again, you're putting him up against Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns, and it's the Miz.
I mean, he took the title off of Randy Orton with the Money in the Bank contract previously. So it's possible. Yeah. I mean, of course, I like the Money in the Bank contract and the idea behind it. I think giving it to Otis originally and having him do nothing with it for months on end was pointless. I think the Miz, being the determined piece of shit that he is the best person to have it right now. Second being Seth, because I think Seth gave us one of the best cash-ins that we've seen. Because it's always like the crazy-eyed people who use the contract the best, like Edge, Seth, Miz. But this one's just bad. Mostly because of how Otis handled it. I do think he can use it on Roman. And that would be a huge pop, I think. But we'll have to see. It would take some lead in before that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, we have Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton in the ring. And Alexa Bliss makes her challenge to Randy. She pulls out a present by the timekeeper's area, puts it down in front of her, and opens it up and reveals that it's a gas tank and a box of matches. And she says, "Do what you did to me, or do what you did to the Fiend to me." As in, light her on fire. And then Randy said, but the police. But murder. She pours gasoline in a trail on the ring, leading right to her. And she's like, just do it. Just fucking do it. I don't care. Because she's all serious now. Like, she's not dressed like a kid anymore. She is very fucking serious. She's super mad. Angry as shit. She even lights or pours a ring of gasoline around her. Randy says, "No, I'm not going to, because this is exactly what you want. You want me to light you on fire, so I'm not going to." And then she pours all the gasoline on her head. Pours it all down her body. That poor mic, the poor earpiece she has. And Randy says, you really want me to fucking do this, don't you? The lights start to go out, like the Fiend entrance. As the lights go out, you see Randy pull out a match. Lights are out completely. He lights the match. Starts to lower it a little bit. And then we cut away, and that's the end of the episode. Left on a tease like that. But storyline's so good. This storyline is so good. Like, the whole Randy, Fiend, Alexa chemistry is so damn good. Everything about it. And now we move on to the bests of tonight.
Yeah. Fucking Alexa Bliss, dude. The fucking tears and shit. I was like, okay.
My God, she's an amazing actress.
I started getting upset. I was like, cried enough in the last 2 days, bitch. Stop.
Alright, everybody. Place your bets now for what you think will win promo of the night, wrestler of the night, match of the night. No, it will not be Liz. You're a podcaster of the night. Host of the night. Alright, so promo of the night. There's a fair amount of competition, I'd say. We started off with Drew in the ring, of course. That's how we start every night. Every Monday, of course. I mean, it's nothing new from his other stuff. This was just a lead into the match. It's nothing really important. We had the Lucha House Party promo, which was okay. We had Alexa's Playground, which was fucking great. Because you had Randy Orton kicking the shit, like fucking Spartan kicking Huskus into the third dimension, yeeting Mercy the Buzzard out the window into Sister Abigail, and then ripping Ramblin' Rabbit's head off. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And that wasn't even the entire bit of that promo today. Then we had Charlotte Flair interview, which was just alright. It was cute. You had the Nia and Shayna interview, which was good just for Nia announcing she's in Royal Rumble. You had a Drew McIntyre interview, which was basically no information whatsoever, nothing substantial. You had the Hurt Business promo, which was really nothing. It's the same bullying shit we've been seeing every single week. We had the Angel Garza interview, which was kind of interesting. There's some stuff to take away from it, but nothing really big. Just assumptions you can make. Then we had the New Day and Hardy Bros promo, which that was really nothing. You had Bobby Lashley announcing that he'll be in Royal Rumble. You had the Miz and Morrison promo, which it's 50-50 good and lame. Lame because we're back to square one. Good because it gives us some potential. We're now kind of left wondering what the Miz is going to do with the briefcase now. Like, will he do the same thing he did? Or will he turn his sights somewhere else? I wonder if they'll use it for the tag team title. Which I don't think has been done before. I don't think it's been used for a tag team. And then we had Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. And Alexa wanting Randy to set her on fire. My pick for promo of the night is fucking Randy and Alexa. Like, nothing else came close. This shit is so good. It's amazing. Alexa Bliss fucking takes this to the moon.
Yeah. I mean, between the first promo and the last promo, I was like, this is a bit much for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Did have to think for a second. I was like, how if they Bray Wyatt her, how are they gonna make her set on fire? Because she's showing a lot of skin. Bray Wyatt doesn't, or the Fiend doesn't show a lot of skin, so it was easy to make him into like a straw man, basically. I was like, how are we gonna do that today? And then they said, we'll give it to you in the form of a really poorly fucking timed ending to our episode. I said, all right, fine, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I thought I saw somebody coming up over the rope, so I was like, oh shit. And then they cut to black, and I was like, okay, well, fuck me, I suppose.
It was just a fireman. Or it was Drew.
I was like, because my mentality, I was like, it'd be cool if the Fiend came back, but at the same time, I need Bray Wyatt to take like a nap. I think he needs like a couple days to himself, so.
And also, because they're teasing like a new form of the Fiend. Because like, Bray posted the cocoon, and Alexa's been talking about like this new thing. And the next time we see the Fiend should be this new form. We should see Bray sometime before then, but I don't know. But now we move on to Wrestler of the Night. And there's a lot of competition today. I actually enjoyed most of the wrestlers today. We started off with Sheamus versus Keith Lee. And I gotta say, I'm gonna give this one to Keith. Sheamus was good. But I think Keith, this was more of a highlight reel for him than Sheamus. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of an underwhelming match anyway. So it wasn't super impressive for either. The only impressive thing on Sheamus's part was white noising Keith. Meanwhile, Keith just looked ferocious in the ring. And then we had The Miz versus Gran Metalik. The Miz basically did nothing, so this is all Gran Metalik. But Gran Metalik looked amazing. He was hitting all of his moves, just looking fantastic. He looks like he was on top of the world back when he was fighting AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Then we had Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler, and I will say Dana Brooke for this. I already explained why previously, but to reiterate, Shayna, when she needed to take a hit, she looked like a drunken boxer. Literally, she was like waving her arms, like wobbling. We've seen better from her. And then that move from Dana was just a really nice surprise. Hopefully we do see more of that in the future. Just because I feel like she could pull off with her gymnast experience some like lucha-esque style. And then we had AJ Styles versus Elias. Oh my god, AJ Styles looked absolutely amazing this match. Like, he looked phenomenal. No pun intended. Actually, pun fully intended. Like, I stand by the fact that AJ Styles is one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the entire business, not just in WWE. His amount, like the amount of styles that he has in his repertoire is unlimited. It's limitless. Like Keith. I mean, that Pele kick alone was so sick. But this was like a pay-per-view showing that he gave us today. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. Oh wait, no. We had Ricochet versus Mustafa. I picked Mustafa for this. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't really happy with either Ricochet or Mustafa. Ricochet had a really nice DDT on T-Bar that looked like it killed both of them. Because Ricochet basically fell from the top rope on his back onto the floor. But yeah, I mean, it was alright. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax for real this time. I picked Charlotte Flair. She looked really good. Nia Jax didn't really do much. Charlotte didn't look amazing, but she looked good. And then last but not least, we had the New Day and Hardy Bros versus the Hurt Business. I picked Kofi. This wasn't really a highlight reel for anybody. I think Kofi had the most mobility in this match. Second,
The only person who even had a chance to make like a highlight reel was fucking Matt Riddle, and that's because he was in it for 95% of the match, and even then it was like he was just kind of getting stomped on.
Yeah, I'd say even more so Bobby. But Bobby really did his like suplex that he flexes for. Tried to do a spear and then did his hurt lock, and that was really it. So my pick for Wrestler of the Night, it's 100% AJ Styles. The man is amazing. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, I have to agree. I really liked him tonight. I thought he was really good. And I thought that he was just showing us like that good old vintage AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I liked him a lot, and I like that he's got like he has a guy in the side, and that guy on the side does fuck all unless somebody like needs him to. In fact, it seems like he's keeping a better like fairness of the match than maybe any other person that we've had like standing sideline before.
I think
so,
that's like what I really appreciate, because he keeps a match fair. It's kind of showing that AJ is an incredible wrestler because these matches are forced to be kept fair, you know?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that it was good. I'm hoping that we get more of this from AJ going forward. And I'm kind of sad that we're only really starting to get it now in the past few weeks. And like, if he was fighting like this for maybe a couple more weeks, I would have been like, sure, give him the fucking championship. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the world moves series-wise.
True. But also, who he was fighting previously, before TLC, it was like Keith Lee. Like, people out of his weight class. And like triple threats too. Having him in a singles match is the best way to show off his skills, which he hasn't had many of lately. But now we have our match of the night. And we started off with Sheamus versus Keith Lee. And it was a pretty decent match. Wasn't anything amazing. Yeah, I expected more from these two guys. They're two incredible wrestlers, but I think they've really been watered down lately. This match never felt like it was anything grueling to either of them. It didn't feel like they were pushed to their limit, which you would think a championship contention match would push them to their limit, but no. Then we had The Miz versus Gran Metalik. Very one-sided match. Nothing really to it. I would have liked this match if we were moving towards a direction of crazy heel Miz, but we're not, so no point. Then we have Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler. A surprising performance from Dana Brooke. Poor performance from Shayna. That's really it.
Wasn't interesting.
Yeah. Then we had AJ Styles versus Elias with Omos in the sideline. Only Omos. This is a great match. I mean, Elias showed up. Elias was fantastic, actually. But AJ was just performing a whole lot better. Like, I really liked this match. Because only Omos was on the sideline. Only Omos. And
no one else.
Yeah, no one else. Maybe
except for the deranged man that climbed in and almost had to deal with. But
and the commentators.
I think we had almost to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right, Tom Phillips.
And Samoa Joe.
And Byron, I guess we'll mention him too.
But also this was
a sweet little man.
This was the first time Omos cheered for AJ, and it was really sweet. But also, you couldn't understand a single thing that Omos was saying because his voice is so deep it doesn't register in your ears.
His voice is so insanely deep that when Tom was like, and Omos has been cheering for him this whole time, I was like, no, he hasn't been. You're lying. And then like they finally like kind of emphasized his mic, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure. Yeah, I guess he's cheering. I genuinely, there's nothing I love more than just pretending that Omos is AJ's father. Because straight up, the amount of times that Omos has just carried AJ away from like getting his ass kicked in, fatherly.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for him. Honestly, I also love that I feel like we're getting teased a little bit with like the idea of Omos getting into fights, which I would love to see Omos as like a fucking wrestler. I feel like he'd be really awesome.
Yeah, and
he's also fucking massive.
He is. He's like the tallest man in all of WWE. But I think I was like really annoyed when we first saw Omos. I was like, oh, AJ came in with like a bodyguard. What is this stupid storyline we're getting? Like, this is kind of lame. And now Omos is kind of this tool to keep AJ's matches like very fair and equal, and just pure wrestling matches. And it's honestly been one of the best things for AJ at this point. It's given him more of a story than he's gotten in a long time. And it's also kind of, AJ's still kind of a heel, but almost kind of brings him down a bit. Much further down than he was when he was on SmackDown, when he was the IC champion. But yeah, I love where he's at right now. And then we had Ricochet versus Mustafa in a match that kind of brought us to a good spot, but kind of brought us back to square one. Feels like we didn't get much progression from this. We just got Ricochet more solidified in the fact that he's not joining Retribution, even though I would like to see him in Retribution. Mostly because of whatever gear they would throw on him would look kind of cool. Although Ricochet's gear already looks rad as shit. Just take his rad as shit gear now and give it some retribution style. Look great.
Just glad we don't have to have it Ricochet walking out to the fucking retribution walkout.
God, I know, yeah.
Just with all the camera angles.
It's so 90s. Like, stop it. It's bad. Also, they make all of Retribution look like they're mentally insane with like their weird movements. At first, they were supposed to be like rejects, like you mentioned, but now they're just mentally insane. I guess kind of defeats the whole purpose of Retribution. I don't know.
Get that?
It feels like they don't know what to do with Retribution at this point, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, they're stuck, it seems.
Yeah, I think that's why they've been feuding with Ricochet for like the past month. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax in a pretty decent match. It was better than the Dana Shayna one. But I think the DQ ending kind of soured it. And then last but not least, we had the New Day and Hardy Bros versus the Hurt Business. In a match that was pretty good, a bit chaotic, but one of the better 8-man tags that we've gotten lately. Not the best one, but still one of the better ones. And I think ending with the Hurt Lock kind of kills a match. Because you would think somebody would break out of a full Nelson by now. You just slip down. All you gotta do. I mean, Apollo fought Bobby for like 5 months, and he didn't learn to break out of it. But my pick for match of the night, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone here. It's AJ Styles versus Elias. That match, AJ turned it into a banger. It was all AJ.
I don't want to say yes, but like this feels like voting for the Velveteen Dream match again,
But to be fair, the person you're talking about wasn't in the match. He didn't participate.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's fair. No, I really did like this match. I gotta agree with you. Because this match was, if nothing else, a very exciting, I guess, like foray into what should be a new and interesting storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to see a new, fresh storyline that like doesn't necessarily make like a ton of sense, but like it doesn't have to make that much sense. Yeah, I guess I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
If only they would remove one small factor from the equation, it would actually be something interesting.
Yeah. Sadly.
We got so close. We got Cutler and Wesley back, and we were like, oh, exactly what we wanted. 2 out of the 3, perfect. And then Vince said, wait, we're gonna ruin Elias even more.
Pain.
We thought Vince was better than Triple H in the sense, but I guess he's not.
No. Where do you think Triple H learned all this?
True. Oh, man. Okay. Well, to run it back, our promo of the night, Alexa Bliss wants to be lit on fire. Wrestler of the night, AJ Styles. Match of the night, AJ Styles versus Elias.
Right
Liz,
on.
would you like to close us out?
I would. Thank you all for joining us today. We will retweet the links and the tweets and stuff that we mentioned earlier. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I think that Wednesday is going to be fun. It'll probably be a little more light. It's just been real shit. And
I mean, Wednesday's going to be when they're doing the Dynamite tribute episode.
Well, okay, for our podcast, it'll probably be a little more light because we aren't talking about AEW.
Fair.
I'm not saying that the actual day itself will be fun. But I encourage everybody, as much as I hate to say this, because I never thought I'd say this in a million years, I encourage everyone, if you can, to watch AEW instead of NXT on Wednesday. It's probably going to be way more beneficial for you as a human being if you liked any of John Huber's characters. But please consider donating, and if you can't donate, maybe refresh your memory of his matches by looking at the playlist that we retweeted. There's a cat peeing. Thanks, cat. Anyways, please join us on Wednesday for our NXT show. It'll be super fun. And after the nightmare that will be Friday, we will be back January 2nd for the Mike Romies. Nothing is standing in our way this time. It's going to be fucking fun. It's going to be a good goddamn time. It's going to be a pleasant little ending to a week that has been not necessarily very kind to anybody. And it's literally only Monday. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, hit that follow button down below. You'll be notified whenever we go live, and maybe hit that subscribe button too. Helps, support the show. And there's also a suggestion box down below. Let us know what you would like to see, what you want us to change. We're always looking for criticism and feedback because we want to make this show as great as it can be for you guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Lets us know we're doing a good job. Follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. We post whenever we go live on there, as well as post our picks for wrestler and match of the night, in case you miss an episode but still want to know who wins. And follow our personal Twitters as well. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And follow my personal Twitch as well. I'm twitch.tv/Mark Cameron. And also check out the Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. Episode 2 of the UPF will go live on Thursday, New Year's Eve. There is a championship title match happening. You will not want to miss it. It's gonna be so fucking good. And join us on Friday for SmackDown. Oh no, join us on Wednesday for NXT. My God. Okay, Wednesday NXT. I'm skipping Wednesday at this point.
Even if you watch AEW, join us for the NXT show because both shows at the end at the same time. So if you watch AEW, we will fill you in on the NXT shit.
Yeah, perfect.
Because we can't watch AEW. We're literally not able to. It fucking breaks me in every single way on a daily basis.
We can watch Dark.
Vibes. We can watch Dark. Maybe we can watch Dark this weekend.
Yeah.
Can we watch Dark this weekend?
It's on YouTube. They post their episodes on YouTube.
Okay.
Alright. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday for NXT. Have a great night, and happy holidays.
Holidays. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.